Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. We're back for part 55 of the Tudor Times today, and annoyingly, as well as transfer deadline day, we're going to have to show the Pompey EFL Trophy match. That's because that falls on deadline day this year and has made it impossible for us to miss. We've also got the start of the international break, and more worryingly, we cannot see our team's name. It is long down behind our head in number 20th place in the league. 2 points from 4 games. It's a little bit of deja vu from last year. All that pre-season optimism, all that excitement when we got promoted about what we might achieve this year. And similar to the start of last year, there's just no goals in the team. The striker's taking a while to get going. When they do, I feel we might be alright, but we'll talk about in a moment why it hasn't happened just yet. If you're looking forward to the episode though, seeing if there is any more action on the big day, any offers for any of our stars, maybe the poor start to the season will be a blessing in disguise, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. The head coach will be back tomorrow with a summer transfer special of its own, that one obviously under the director of football's guise. Here it's all about us. We'd like to avoid that relegation scrap it currently looks like we're in. You can find any of the other playlists you may have missed up in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel and of course the football podcast too. But thank you again for your incredible support as we go and have a look at what's been going wrong so far this season. I will very quickly take you via the transfer screen, but the only thing that's actually happened since you were last here in terms of transfers is that Paul Thornhill, who there was already a free offer in for, has joined on loan for no wage contribution this season. He's the backup left back, will feature in tonight's game, and he's alright. The issue though is when we go and have a look at the schedule of what's been happening this season. You were with me for the game against Mansfield, where we dominated but couldn't quite wrap up the victory, couldn't put the game beyond doubt, and the same has happened in every other league game since. But if you don't take advantage and get the points, you end up in a difficult position. And the one thing that we banked on this year is that we would be solid up front, we would score goals. It just hasn't happened, to be honest. So you were with me for Mansfield. We rotated the whole team for Swansea and got utterly battered. We lost 3-0 and G-Cock was man of the match, which tells you everything. We did draw 2-2 at Scunthorpe. Ricky J. Jones got a brace there, so the only goals that our strikers have scored this year. And there were 2 decent finishes, but my issue is, he has been in and missed so many chances. Javan Malcolm is off the boil. Parry's not had the same impact he did the first game, and obviously James Daly went. It's led to back-to-back 1-0 defeats against Peterborough and Charlton, and if I just take this game as an example, just to show you the sort of level we're talking about, 16 shots, but only managed 3 on target. The expected goals still over 1.5. They were good chances we were creating. I think one of the other crucial things in this has been that Will Swan has been really poor. I don't know yet if that's that he's not capable, or if it's just that he's having a poor start. We've also got to look at the youngsters. Now, where we signed Sharif in the summer, where we signed Bullock and where we signed Thornley, they all wanted short contracts, 1 year or 2 years, and they all wanted sell-on clauses. So I'm having to deliberately try and hold them back until they'll sign a new deal so we can get rid of the minimum fee release. Bennett Sharif is now allowing us to do that, but will just become the highest paid player at the club. And then with Thornley and Bullock, it's saying this situation may change in the future, but I don't want to discuss the contracts I've just signed. Once that's done, I feel we can actually get our best 11 onto the pitch. Ideally, I'd like a great left back today to take over from McGinley, and I'd quite like a top centre half, because at the moment I think it's Brian Moore, and then probably it'll be Thornley instead of Farquharson, but it's still not the strongest for League One. But equally, we need to start scoring. Malcolm's now gone 5 games without, so we can give him the little kick up the backside. Ricky J. Jones has just done enough, which makes it a bit more difficult. They are also the 2 men that are wanted on deadline day. Javan Malcolm by Notts County, Ricky J. Jones the same. I wonder if we're going to get an offer. But here we are on deadline day. We've been looking at some people, not really found anything stand out at the moment. So let's just go and take part. We need a 4th striker if we can get one, because Kenny Craig, the youngster on loan, isn't great. And we could also do with a centre-half. We're going to try and loan out Josh Berry for the season. He's now back from injury. And Marcus Force, a star of our Twitch livestream series. He's popped up, linked with a big move to Hearts. But let's see what happens. We've got 15 hours to go. Are we going to get any big offers? And are we going to be able to find a target that solves our problems? I'm not quite sure. Let's go and see. Well, 1 hour in, we have loan offers for Josh Berry, but both of them are clubs that are asking for him to be a fringe player. And if he's going to do that, he might as well stay here, because since the last episode, we have had our facilities upgrade completed, up from adequate to average on the training front, and we can start to think about the others moving forward. But he's not going to get better than that elsewhere. If he's not going to play anyway, we might as well just keep him here and then give him the odd EFL Trophy match. It makes sense. But not the best start, not what we were hoping for. He is a player that actually went on trial to Cardiff earlier in the summer, a championship club, but nothing came of it. And despite doing pretty well at Dulwich Hamlet last year in the National League, doesn't seem to have any takers, although I guess that could happen later on. Right then, the League One registration window is giving us a reminder. There's an offer made for 34-year-old George Williams by the Director of Football. Come on, Marcus, you're better than that. Can we get rid of him? I don't think we can get rid of the offer. Alright, here it is. So we're going to walk away from that. Crew accept bids for Robinson, who we tried to loan previously. This one is the interesting one. This is of the 5 youngsters we made a bid for at the start of the summer. This is the one we missed out on. Bournemouth were the ones that were able to attract Durgan Kaplan. He's a holding midfielder, and I thought he was going to be a starter for us. So maybe if we could get him on loan, it would be great. And they're saying no contribution. We could then push Egan into the centre of midfield and so on. I think he's a superstar. I'm going to see what they say if I ask to play him as a halfback. I'm not sure they're going to take it, are they? Oh God, no. No. We'll play him as a ball winner. And I mean, we won't, but at least we'll get him on loan till January then. And we'll offer nothing. But the truth is, he'll probably go to another club anyway. But it'd be an interesting one to bring in, because he was one of those I was really keen on signing last summer. Well, we're back as Javan Malcolm is being linked with an exit. So what I've got to do is show you the man that we missed out on. And it would have completed the set of brilliant young footballers that play up front. He's 26 now, Riddell Richards. We had him briefly with Ballymena on Twitch last year. He's such a good striker. But he rejected us for St Mirren, where he earns nearly £3,000 a week. So you can't begrudge him that. But he's now sitting on the bench, whereas he could be a superstar at our club. We needed a goal scorer, didn't we? Well, Kaplan, for the second time this summer, has rejected us. He has gone to Oxford, a fellow League One side, I think. Yep, they're down in the scrap with us. We've got some agent offers coming in, mainly for strikers, but is there anyone really stand out? They're more sort of target men, most of these. Or they can't finish, and that doesn't particularly help us. So we might be left with the 4 we've got, and we're just going to have to take a bit of a hit, because I don't see the point of getting a player in for the sake of it who's going to be clearly 4th choice. We might as well just stick with the slightly poorer loan player and then try and make it through the season, because I still believe we'll stay up if we're able to get a few goals into the team. Well, we've got more loan offers for Josh Berry this time, but again, they're all as a fringe player. Why on earth will no one give him a chance to play first team football? He's a good centre half. Maybe we're going to have to do it, I don't know, and then sell Gillespie perhaps in January. It just seems a very weird situation. Shall we see if we can do that, in fact? Where is Gillespie? He's there, he's 31, he wanted to leave most of the time anyway. And while he's a good experienced player, he's not getting any better. He has caused some trouble off the pitch. So, shall we see if we can sell him instead? And then we'll keep Berry in the club as 4th choice. That's what we're going to do. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? Half of the A-League have come in for Gillespie, and for a pretty decent fee, it's got to be said. We signed him for nothing, and now we're getting offered about 65 grand for him. I think for Western United, because it's guaranteed money, we'll take it. We'll also take Western Sydney Warriors, who have offered 65 grand up front. And I think we'll reject the rest because they're all lower. I mean, the 60 grand ones aren't too far off. We're certainly not accepting 50. In fact, we'll just accept the 59s because it will make sure that he gets sold today. We'll reject the unresponded ones. We are going to be bringing in some money for a 31-year-old, and we got him for free last year. Sounds excellent. Well, if ever certain deals told you about the difference between clubs at this level, I just saw that Ipswich, who I think are down near the bottom of League One with us. We're going to have a quick look. They're in the relegation zone just behind us. Had bid £3 million for Louis Barry from Aston Villa. Now, that is more than our annual turnover. It is absolutely insane. We're going to say the bank isn't completely empty, but I don't think there's going to be any deals now coming in. I think we've lost out on targets. We've got enough to stay up. And we're just going to have that one little season of frustration and building, and then maybe go big for it next year, because early doors, we've not looked great. I still believe that these lads can find the goals, and if they do, anything's possible. Well, this is interesting. Thornley is wanted on loan by Ayr United. Now, he would be an important player there, but he's going to be an important player for us in the next couple of months, so he's not going anywhere. But a couple of clubs have tried to sign him. DJ Heath is unavailable from Fulham. I was just going to take one last look at our affiliate club, Chelsea, who have given us a bit of a rein to their 23s, and just see if there was anyone in a position that would help us. So I'm looking to see, is there a left back, which there isn't, only a greyed out one. I'm also looking at strikers, but the players they've got there are so good, like your Soonsup Bells, that I can't imagine them coming on loan to League One. They're all wanting to play with higher quality players. And that's why it was very difficult to get players on loan, because none of them are actually loan listed. None of them want to leave the club. So what about the 18s if we go a step further? But it's not to be, and with 4 hours left, there's another done deal in the league. I wish I hadn't missed that one. I know he's a winger, but he can play centre mid. Ian Paveda has gone to Forest Green. That's a great deal. Stuart Parry has been linked with a loan move. I'm going to say nothing on that because he asked to leave, but I want to get him first team football. We have, though, got some other issues to worry about today. It is fitness test time. Nydam's making his way back. Will Swan is not fit after a tight hamstring. And as the end of deadline day looms and approaches, we have to worry about our first EFL Trophy match. A chance to get loads of the youngsters into the team. A chance to really give these kids an opportunity to develop. Let's go and pick our 11. It's going to be much changed, and we'll run through it in a moment. Lots of new faces we're going to see for the first time on camera today. Well, here we go. It's much changed. There's still little bits of experience dotted around, but it's very few and far between. One of those is Zach Geacock, who of course has to play with the Hornby injury. Thornhill and Bennett Sharif are the fullbacks, with Berry alongside Thornley at centre-half. Callum Hazeman in a holding role. He's played plenty of games for us. Tristan Nydam, the club captain, is in centre midfield. Got a slight fitness knock, but he's recommended an hour, so we'll get him in from the start. Richardson's alongside him with Bullock as the number 10, and then Parry and Craig up front. Parry's been asking for more football. We've not really got our strikers scoring, so Javan Malcolm's spot is up for grabs if Parry can find the goal today. We have got a few of the game savers on the bench, the likes of Reed, Hamilton, Jones, McMillan even there, and Gillespie, who might make his final appearance for the club. But let's go and get in and face Pompey. I'd like to go on a run in one of these competitions this year, but not enough that I'm willing to play the first team. So hopefully the backups will do enough. Let's go and find out. Well, it is 10 changes from the Charlton League One game. Only the goalkeeper, and that's only due to an injury, has kept his place. There's lots of changes for our opponents today. 8 for them. The likes of Moncur, Harness, Borthwick, Jackson, Christie and Allsop all out. They stayed down in the playoffs last year, so they're still a League 2 club. There's nothing massive about them. We should be the favourites. So let's ask the lads to change it. No reaction whatsoever. This is a young team who has got to deliver. And away to Portsmouth, it could be an intimidating atmosphere, though I'm expecting there to be a pretty low attendance for this competition. As Barton picks it up in the middle, it's a good start. It's a comfortable start in possession for Pompey. Spittle playing the ball out. They're going with the back three by the looks of it. And very highly pushed up wing backs, so it could pose a problem for our young fullbacks. Bryden goes all the way back to his keeper, and when you see a big long highlight from the kickoff, you often worry how it's going to finish. And Amin's picked the ball up here. Chance to go left. Richardson's following him all the way, but not quite a defender yet. Hazeman's out to the byline now, in towards Campion, headed away as far as Richardson to Grant. Pompey still attacking, 30 yards out on the right. Bangura delivers, Campion's in. And that is absolutely disastrous. A young and inexperienced back four falter. And Portsmouth lead 1-0. Not what we were hoping for. Well, 20 minutes on the clock. It is all Pompey at the minute. It does not look good whatsoever. Hazeman having a good game in the holding role. We've struggled to get that number 10 position working so far this year. Swan popped up with a lot of goals last season, but him and Bullock both struggled there. And as we come up to half time, we've had no shots on target. And for the first time this season, we've been truly outplayed, which I guess you might expect with our full reserves out. There's a lot of anxiety there, which is not good. Let's get Ricky J. Jones on for Kenny Craig. Try and give it a go. We'll bring Bullock off or Nydam. I'm not sure which. We'll leave it for 10 minutes till we've decided. But Ricky's on. The star striker's up there. Let's see if he can make a difference, because he's only scored in one game this year as well. Right, we've tried to encourage the lads, get a bit of confidence into them, and it looks like we're on the attack. Bennett Sheriff into Richardson, up to Ricky J. Jones, goes from distance, good save Williamson. Nice to see him hitting the target for once though this year, as Bullock gets to the byline on the right, wins a corner. We're playing some nice stuff now, we're on the front foot. The difference is, in every other game this season, we've not made that count, we've not taken chances. As Nydam puts a corner in, we could have done with nicking a nasty one from a set piece really, a little scruffy goal. And we might still have the chance, because that's a free kick right next to the corner flag. Haseman's done really well in that holding role today. There's an argument that he should be coming into our regular midfield. And it's going to be taken by Tristan Nydam, the skipper. Left-footed, outswinger to the back post. Barton heads away, out for a throw-in. And Nydam probably going to have to come off. He's done his hour, he's struggling physically. And who do we bring on? Do we go Swan and drop Bullock? Do we go Arthur Reed, go for the big guns? Or do we bring on Farquharson and maybe drop Haseman in? I think that's what we're going to do. Haseman centre mid, Farquharson into the holding role. And then we're struggling a bit with Thornhill left back as well. So Jack McMillan will come on for him. Half an hour left. He's a better fullback going forward. Maybe we'll get a reaction. But at the moment, despite an improved second half performance, it looks like another defeat is on the way. So we've got to throw on the right with Bennett Sheriff. Don't forget here, we only need to nick an equaliser and then win a penalty shootout to get 2 points. As Sheriff comes down the right, there's 3 in the box. It's a bit too deep and it goes to Bullock. But it's headed back to the keeper for Pompey, who goes long downfield. Maguire flicks on. Farquharson's there. Finds Bullock to Bennett Sheriff. Into Richardson. Again, signs of positive football. And that's really not why I'm not too worried this season, because we have played well in every game. We've just not been able to get the goals as Jones is in, rounds the keeper. And Ricky J. Jones is taking the opportunity against lesser opposition, a League Two side, to get himself back amongst the goals. That's an important moment and could well help us go on a run here. Brilliant second half performance. Brilliant result if we can get it. But it's a Pompey corner and immediately we're under pressure again. It's silly. It's back to the edge to Maguire. Oh, they've done us with a set-piece routine there. That is so poor. I'm absolutely furious they've thrown it away like that. We're going to berate the lads. They can look unhappy if they want, but that's pathetic. And again, we finished the game with more shots, with the similar on target, though Farquharson edged just over. And we're not taking chances. I don't know what it is with the first 2 months of the season with Hemel. We had it in the National League South. We even had it last season. Javan Malcolm didn't score, or scored 1 goal in the first month. Jones didn't score till September. He scored another here to get us back on terms. Haseman sets it up. He's been fabulous all game. But there's something that just doesn't seem to click. Even though our first 11 for the league games is virtually the same as the one that took us up, there's just something that doesn't seem quite right. We've been the better side. In the end, the second half was brilliant. But we've got no good penalty takers on the pitch. So we'll see how it pans out. I'm guessing the answer will be not well. Right then, the takers have been put in order. Lots of people looking calm, which is good. And 2 points here, despite the disappointment defensively, would be a really good outcome in terms of trying to go on a run. And these youngsters need game time, so getting through would be great. Ricky J. Jones makes no mistake, comes off the bench to score 2 goals, and of course delivers from the spot too. George Grant, a former Luton man, set up the second goal for Pompey here, puts his penalty in the corner. That wasn't in doubt either. Give him a free kick or penalty, it's likely to be pretty good. As Richardson, not yet scored for the club I don't think, is a natural striker. We're obviously converting him to midfield, and that is why it is an absolutely awful penalty. I don't mind if it's poor, but it's about 5 feet from the goal. Corey Blackett-Taylor, former Tranmere legend. But what a save. G-Cock gets down and he spared the blushes of Richardson. It's another one of the youngsters though in Bullock. He's not had a great game. He looked anxious at half-time. Slots away his penalty well though. I've got a feeling he'll break through into the first team pretty soon. Spittle is up third. Pompey could go behind if they concede here. It's over the bar. We didn't need to concede. We didn't even need to make the save because it is blazed high. I don't think I've seen that yet in this FM. Haseman to give us the lead and reinforce it with a beautiful strike to the top corner. What a performance from him. He's been sensational today. And now Pompey must score both and we must miss ours if they want to stay in this. As Richardson up into the top corner. It wasn't really into the corner, but it was pretty wide and it was a ferocious strike. It's 3-2. Can Farcarson, the most experienced player on the pitch for us, deliver at the moment that matters most? He steps up against Pompey with a chance to get us 2 points instead of 1 and really increase our chances of getting through. Farcarson into the bottom corner. G-Cock makes the save. The other penalty was blazed over. And with the Ricky J. Jones special comeback, we get 2 points from our opening EFL Trophy game. Now off to finish transfer deadline day and work out how we're going to get goals out the rest of this team. Well, back with 30 minutes to go, I was about to panic at the fact Gillespie hadn't gone yet, but obviously I'm guessing the A-League, the transfer window doesn't shut the same day because there doesn't seem to be too much panic about it. In terms of the rest though, there's no further outs, there's certainly not going to be an in now. It is a very quiet deadline day after signing some promising players in the summer window, but I think we're seeing early on this season it's going to take a while for that to gel, and what we've got to make sure in the meantime is that we pick up enough points. Let's see if there's any miracles to finish, but I think that's just about it now. And there we go, a quiet final day to the window, but you could argue that means we've done our work well beforehand, and I believe we have. It has been a start to the season that makes you question it, but we're not going to because the players we've got in are really good additions to this squad. We've managed to sell a few as well just to balance the books, the likes of Davey and Daly. Did we have any towards the end of last year? Matthew Carson with a loan fee. But the thing I'm impressed with, if I'm being honest, Hazeman comes back to the club on a cheap, and I think you saw just in that Pompey game how important that's going to be long term. These 4, I'd imagine, will eventually break into the team. It's just a matter of time for those guys. And then even looking at some of the loan ones that we've bought in, and getting Will Swan back, absolutely crucial. Thornhill is a decent young left back. He played all right in that game too. I think we've got a decent squad. I don't think, given the inconsistency and the lack of goals, we're going to be up there for promotion. But we said that at the start of last season. We won the first game, then struggled for a few weeks. But if Ricky and Javan hit form at the same time, and if Swan or Bullock in the number 10 role can find a decent amount of form, we are going to be a strong opposition. Whether that happens quickly enough, whether that happens often enough, we've got a very young squad now. Whether it's consistent enough, I don't know. But if it does, we've got an opportunity still. If we look at the club hierarchy, we've got 2 team leaders in now, and a lot of the more experienced members of the squad are in that highly influential group. Looking at G-Cop, McGinley, Farcarson, Reed and Nydam, the older heads, they're all in there. Gillespie's going to be off by the looks of things. And it's just about getting some of these other players through into that influential stage. And those young signings in the summer, particularly ones like Resolute Personality Richardson, Model Citizen Thornley, it can't be long, can it? And if they can reach their potential, in Thornley, we've probably got a future captain of this club. So fingers crossed on that front. It all looks pretty good. The confidence is slowly coming back. And I do believe it's a matter of time before we hit form. Let's scroll down and have a look at when we're next going to be back. There are 2 games that are standing out to me. We have got 5, 6, 7, 8 league games before them. And then we are going to be back for Rotherham United away, one of the favourites I'd imagine for the league. And my beloved Luton Town at home. A return for them to Kenilworth Road after leaving for Power Court, because we're now playing in their former stadium. That should be good fun. If you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy this episode, yes, a quieter deadline day, but a dramatic victory in the EFL Trophy. So at least the game was great. Can we maybe look at this the other way? If we have a boring lower mid-table season and don't have that thought of, oh, we might reach the playoffs or we're in a relegation scrap, maybe we can throw everything at the cup and really have fun in the EFL Trophy. If you did enjoy the episode though, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of our transfer work overall, and should we have a go at the EFL Trophy or continue to just play the kids throughout. If you want to stay up to date and find out how we get on, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. There's daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories, including a massive transfer special in the head coach tomorrow. And then we'll be back here in 2 days' time, hopefully scoring goals again. Fingers crossed celebrating the form of Ricky and Javan Malcolm. But we'll wait and see. It could yet be a struggle. We're a newly promoted side, and we have no divine right to do well here. In the meantime, you can find some of the other playlists, the Twitch channel and the football podcast in the eye above. But thank you very much for watching, your continued support as always, and I'll see you next time for 2 big games in League One and a reunion with Luton Town.